Day and night, people are out on the streets to show their anger. Anger at their government and at the state of their country.
They have to pay for their crimes. They can't just walk away free.
The face of murdered journalist Daphne Caruana Galizia has become a symbol for all that's wrong.
Our country has been destroyed by this group of criminals, you can call them, posing as government officials.
The protests transcend generations and party lines. People here want the same thing: change.
In Malta, what we witnessed in the past years is complete merge between the big business and the government.
But many think that people power can help clean up the country.
We can make a difference, that change is possible. I'm really emotional.
Oligarch Yorgen Fenech has been charged with involvement in the murder of Daphne Caruana Galizia. He's pleaded not guilty. He had tried to escape the island in his luxury yacht. Now he's trying to work out a deal with the government for his immunity. Fenech's casino in Portomasso is said to be a hub for money laundering, and the Delimara power station, jointly owned by Fenech, was at the centre of one of the island's biggest corruption scandals. Opposite the courthouse in Vella is a memorial to Daphne Caruana Galizia. 14-year-old Tiziana has come to lay flowers.
Day after day after day, the Minister for Justice, which I would call injustice, not justice, sends his cleansing department to take this off, all of this.
But people like Tiziana simply put it back up. They're determined to make sure she is not forgotten and that her death was not in vain.
DW spoke to her sister shortly after Fenech appeared in a Valletta court.
I will be content when full justice is finally delivered for everybody involved in Daphne's murder and everybody she ever exposed. And everybody involved in her murder possibly has not been identified yet, which is why we're expecting the Prime Minister to leave office and Parliament and be investigated himself, along with his Chief of Staff, Keith Schembri, because they may very well have been involved in the plot to murder Daphne.
And DW's Barbara Wezel is covering the story for us in Malta. Barbara, we hear that there is a government crisis meeting taking place. What more can you tell us?
The question is, at this point in time, how many hours do you really need to kick out a Prime Minister who is deeply implicated in an ongoing murder case, a murder case of an investigative journalist that made headlines around the world and that really ruined the reputation of this island republic, because what happened was that she had uncovered deep-seated corruption in Malta, and there was the sense that this was all of this, her murder, the people who did this, who were responsible for it, and the wider circumstances were about to be covered up. Now, the cabinet is sitting still the early morning and trying to argue with Prime Minister Joseph Muscat that he really needs to go now. His own party thinks that he needs to go, that he just has to step down immediately. But he is clinging to his seat with the tip of his fingers because, and that is the general assumption, he is afraid of investigators getting onto him after he has left office and lost immunity with that. So we're still waiting for the moment, but it seems rather inevitable.
Okay, apart from that meeting, the people of Malta are coming out to protest now on a daily basis. What are they demanding?
They are demanding, of course, that he steps down. I mean, it's unbearable. People really talk in the street about it and say, you know, the man needs to go as quickly as possible. And then, on the other hand, they are, of course, demanding justice. In the back here, we can see the memorial for Daphne Caruana, and that is being taken down by security personnel every night. And every day, volunteers come back up and put up the photos again, and the flowers and the lights that are there to remind people of her. And it seems an extraordinary display of official mean-mindedness. And this whole spirit is what people are protesting against. They want a new start for their country. They want the deep-seated criminality, the whole underworld that has taken root on this island. They want all this eradicated. They want a fresh start, and they want a fresh start for democracy, because they say the corruption on Malta has gotten so bad that it's really strangulating the democratic forces here, because the police, justice, and just every institution in the country is implicated.
Okay, let's just get back to the legal story for a moment, if you don't mind. The accused businessman, Yorgen Fenech, is he cooperating with prosecutors, and what might that mean?
Everybody is still waiting for that, but the assumption is yes, because he has pleaded not guilty to the charges. So how can he sort of prove his innocence if he doesn't at the same time then say to the prosecution, it wasn't me, but it was these other people. It was people close to the government. And of course, in the center and the focus of all this is Schembri. He is the chief of staff of the Prime Minister, who left office just a week ago, hurriedly. He had been investigated by police, then they let him go, which led to another surge of public anger. And Schembri is sort of like the man behind a lot of the corrupt dealings on this island. He is really deeply implicated, and the demand is, even by the cabinet now, the demand is to pull him back in, to ask him what he knows about the things and the murder of the journalists, because the general assumption is, and the idea is, that he might directly have to do with it. And that would mean that the whole scandal would sort of lead into the office of the Prime Minister, and that he would have to sort of be counted, and that he will have to be investigated in the end too.
Okay, DW political correspondent Barbara Wesel, thanks for that.